Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. I am your host, Chuck Graham. Anyway, today I want to do something a little lighter on the show. Usually it's about politics and all that, but I think politics really kind of speaks for itself, you know? Come on, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Okay, look, I want to talk about bears. And the reason is I came across a video or a show. It was called Grizzly Man with Timothy Treadwell. And if you don't know about this this video, Timothy Treadwell went to Alaska every year, and every summer for 13 summers, he lived with the bears, right? Now, these are not any bears. They're Kodiaks. Some of them get 11 feet tall, 1,500 pounds. I think the heaviest one on record was, I want to say 2,500, 2,800 pounds. Anyway, so I came across the video of him getting eaten. Well, audio. And prior to that, if you've ever watched his videos, he would say stuff like, "Oh man, I would never take the life of a bear. I would give my life for these bears, and it's really dangerous, and I could die out here." And when he said that he would give his life for the bears, I went, "Yeah, bullshit." Okay, I'm just calling it bullshit, and I was right, because if you listen to his horrific death on the audio, he's screaming to his girlfriend, "Go get the frying pan!" to hit the bear with. Yeah, like that's going to do something. He didn't carry bear spray. He didn't carry a firearm. And he was sleeping off a trail when that bear attacked during, I think, September, when the bears get a little bit more aggressive because most of them is already hibernating, and some of them that are left behind, they're trying to, get that extra nutrition. And trying to get as bulked up as they can to hibernate. And they get a little bit more aggressive, according to the experts, which stands to reason why you don't camp in a tent on the trail of a big Kodiak. But he'd gotten used to those. And let's be clear, there's no way I believe that Timothy Treadwell was doing this because of poachers, because it really wasn't a big problem with poachers. And you can YouTube it. I'm not going to post the link to the video. I'm not going to promote the death of this guy, even though it was pretty horrific. It's about a minute and something. I think the whole entire tape was 6 minutes, but the clip is for like a minute or so, a minute and a half. Anyway, you get the sense that he thinks that he's doing this for the conservation of these animals, but that's entirely not true. He actually was hurting these animals. He was doing more harm than good. People say to me, they say, "Well, why?" And I've responded to some of the YouTube videos. Why aren't we on the menu? I mean, bears don't have a menu, right? They don't. Let's see, side of leg. No, they don't have they don't have a menu. God put fear and dread of everything. That's simple. They fear us because God put that fear in them. And when you, as a person or an individual, feeds one of those bears and you negate that fear, you've just created a huge problem. And I really believe that's what happened with some of these bears, is they just lost their fear of humans because of people like Treadwell. Even if he didn't feed them, they got comfortable with him, because 99% of the time, a bear, a black bear, a grizzly, it's going to run the other way when it sees you, unless you startle it. Now, I'll tell you what the experts say, and then I'll give you my opinion. I would suggest you do what the experts say. Experts say that if it's a black bear, you fight. Regardless if it's mama cubs, whether it's whatever, you fight for your life. If it's a grizzly, if it's a mama cubs, you play dead, cover your vitals, lay there, hold your position, don't make a sound. Eventually, you're no threat, move on. I agree with that. If you don't have a weapon or bear spray or something like that. Male grizzlies, same thing if you startle one. But if you make that mistake of you think you startled him when he was actually stalking you, you're dead because he's going to eat you. And all the research that I've done in the past couple of months, reading up from different experts and looking at some of the bear attack encounters, bears are awful. They will eat you alive. They'll eat you from your legs all the way up when they get on you. And you can see this in wild animals. They do the same thing. With calf mooses, you can hear them screaming, and the bear's just eating them alive. Unlike a lion that'll kill you first, at least. At least he has the common decency to, check, dispatch your ass before he eats you. But anyway, my point being is this. If you're in bear country, carry bear spray and carry a weapon and a firearm. And not just any firearm. You better make sure you have bear rounds. Solid, full metal jackets. And they make bear rounds too with a little bit more grain in the ammo to penetrate them, because I found out something that I didn't know. And I'm a pretty good gun enthusiast, so to speak. I didn't know that it's very difficult for even a .44 Magnum to penetrate the fat of a bear to get to the vital organs. So, that's kind of a scary thing. A lot of the guides now are carrying 10 millimeters. Now, some of them, I would prefer to have a revolver, because if it jams, yikes, you don't have a second chance. And I'll tell you something else I didn't know. A bear can run approximately 35 to 40 miles an hour. And off the start, and they look clumsy and bumbly and all that, but from the dead stop to a full run, they can outrun a racehorse. Crazy, right? So it makes you want to go camping in a tent, doesn't it? But my whole point being is this, is if you're in bear country, and I just wanted to share what my opinions were, trust the experts. I'm not even going to give my opinion what to do, because they tell you not to run, but that would be so difficult. I mean, you may just have to, man up and charge at the bear. Maybe your bluff charge will turn him around. And the reason I say that, if he's trying to attack you to eat you, that's what I'm saying. And the reason I say that, if you watch dogs, even small dogs, chase bears off, even big grizzlies, dogs have this ability not to be able to determine what size they are, apparently. You watching a 20-pound Boston Terrier bulldog run off 2 cub bears, kind of crazy. 3 times his size, 4 times his size. It's the bluff. So if you're fighting for your life, why not? If you know he's out there to eat you, I guess you just have to charge him. I ran a black bear out of our yard that I charged and ran him out. So, and bears around here are very rare. They're not really prevalent around here, but I damn sure didn't want him to come back. So I charged him and ran him off. But the point being is that was about 2 years ago, by the way. My wife thought I was nutty. She said, that's crazy. And then I think one got hit over on the next highway over, got hit by a car. I went, well, I guess I'm not so nutty. Black bears are protected in Mississippi too. They're a protected species. You better absolutely be able to prove self-defense if you ever shoot one. Anywho, I just wanted to share that with you, and you can look up online at bear attacks. Don't take my word for it. It's horrific, I cannot think of a worse death than being mauled by a grizzly and eaten alive. But like I said, you can Google it. I'm not going to put links to it. It's pretty horrific if you do it. But be safe out there. And I wanted this show to be a little bit lighter and maybe informative on bears. But in no means do I think Timothy Treadwell was being Mr. Conservationist. I think he was doing more harm than good with the bears. And I will say this too. Don't feed a bear. A fed bear is a dead bear. They don't need your help. Don't feed a raccoon or a crocodile or an alligator. Just don't do it. They don't need your help. You're making it worse for the next person, because when they lose their fear of man and you feed them and you cause that loss of that fear, you're making it difficult, and you could cost the life of another person that don't have food. And maybe that bear is starving. They don't have food. Well, they become food. Now you have a problem bear that the game and fish has to destroy. So what you thought was helping that bear costed its life. They don't need your help. They're not humans. They don't need welfare. What they need is you to get the hell out of their way, stay away from them, make a lot of noise so that you can keep them away from you while you're out on the trails, and don't feed them, because they're not cute and cuddly little creatures. They will kill you and eat you if you have a bear that it has no fear of man, or that has done it before. So that's it for the day, guys. Hey, if you like this show and you like the message that I bring, and I'm going to try to stay away from all politics. I like to talk about other things, and, I try to do these in just one take because, frankly, I like to hear myself talk, apparently. But anyway, if you like it, hit that notification bell so you're notified for any next videos, and hit the subscribe button. Trying to build our subscription. I think I enjoy doing this as a hobby, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.